Oak Island's Secrets and the Unity of Mankind. September 9, 2014. We've mentioned before that your history is nothing like you've been led to believe, and it goes without saying that humanity has a lot to learn before you can understand your history in a real and undistorted way. The current version of history you've been taught is quite distorted compared to the things that have really happened to various civilizations throughout the ages, and for the most part, you don't know about all of the different advanced civilizations whose existed on your surface, and preserved yet hidden the truths of their spirituality and their general advancement. On every continent, a lot of revelations remain to be discovered underground. Advanced, connected societies. It'll eventually be discovered that at more than one time, various advanced societies who existed on other sides of your world were connected, and it'll especially be surprising to learn that free energy has powered more than one ancient society. Crystals were once widely used, along with free energy, to provide any given necessity beyond food. Every home was powered by free and crystal energy, and needless to say, nobody had to pay for utilities that Gaia readily provided to everyone. In some societies, however, the egos of the leaders caused a lot of chaos. The leaders of various ancient, advanced civilizations were focused on making sure their society's secrets were unattainable to people in later generations, and a lot of protective measures were taken to guard their secrets and the treasures that come with them. Humanity has a lot to learn, and for the collectively enforced illusion to be pierced, those of you who are awake and aware of the things that need to be learned will need to use your knowledge to bring others into the light by providing them with a new perspective on various topics and situations. You're encouraged to use your knowledge to help the rest of humanity become aware, and you can do anything as long as you're motivated enough. You have the ability to awaken all of humanity to the startling truths and revelations that have been hidden, but you have to become aware of them yourselves before you can spread the word. With this said, we'll answer our first question. Question number 1. What's underneath Oak Island? Can you ask about Oak Island off of Nova Scotia? What is the purpose of the underground shafts that lead up to the surface of the island and to the edges underwater? Is there something significant to be found there? Or is it from the Atlantean time when they dug massive shafts and used the heat from Gaia to power their society? Or is it possibly a sealed-off shaft leading to Agartha? This question is the reason we gave the introduction we did, and we'll be happy to provide our perspective on what lays underneath Oak Island. As we said, various ancient and advanced civilizations have existed throughout your history, and many of them chose to preserve their secrets by hiding them, sometimes in plain sight and sometimes in places that are very difficult to get to. This is the case with the society that once existed at what's now Oak Island. An advanced society once existed there who, at the beginning, honored themselves and their creator. This society wasn't part of Atlantis. It was built a few centuries after the Atlanteans, and its people were introduced to the Law of One and similar enlightening concepts that many of them took to their graves. As your history becomes clearer, you'll find that a lot of ancient, advanced civilizations seem to thrive, before experiencing some kind of downfall, either gradual or rapid, and this is what the civilization at Oak Island experienced. They started out as positive, loving and mindful of the spiritual laws, and like many other ancient civilizations, their leaders soon began to distort the teachings they were given, and preserve the sacred truths for themselves. The leaders who did this were a part of what you term the Illuminati today, but the group didn't have that name at this time. They acted under a different name but still had very similar agendas, and one of those agendas was to hide the truths from the future generations who'd visit Oak Island. We should mention that Oak Island itself wasn't this civilization's home, it was far too big for this area alone. However, the land the island now sits on was important to this society for many reasons, and near its end, the leaders used this area to hide a lot of the texts they suppressed. Very advanced engineering was used to hide certain important, sacred tablets, such as the one that was discovered just shy of 100 feet in the first shaft. Practically unreachable. There are plenty more sacred texts buried, much, much deeper in these shafts, and it'd take a superhuman level of work and ability to dig deep enough and surpass all of the traps that were set to find them. They're practically unreachable, and they were intended to be. The leaders had their people set various traps that were intended to halt progress when anyone attempted to dig deeper and find what lays underground, and while small bits of coins and such that are considered very valuable can be found, the real treasure lies in the uninterpretable texts that lay deep, deep underground. We'd say these texts will be uprooted when the time comes for humanity to learn the truth, but they can remain underneath your ground because they're copied into the Akashic records and will be available for humanity to interpret and learn from. It's basically a fruitless endeavor to attempt to look for these texts or the currency that lays with them, but we applaud the incentive so many people have shown throughout your history to reach them. The contents of Oak Island will remain a mystery for the time being, but in due time, a wealth of revelations will come pouring into your mainstream media at a rapid speed. One of these truths will be that an advanced society once existed near Oak Island, who utilized its resources, and this society knew a lot of revolutionary things that, if your society knew, would help you progress and thrive. Oak Island isn't by far the only place to have once been utilized by an advanced society, and almost every piece of land on your planet was once under the feet of advanced peoples. Your social progress hasn't been as slow and steady as you've been led to believe, and in fact, various ancient, advanced civilizations have existed in various places on your planet, again, many of whom actively communicated with each other despite the fact that there were no phones as you perceive them. Their methods of communication were much more direct, and humanity will enjoy this direct communication in due time as a wealth of revolutionary technologies are disclosed and declassified for public use. The place our scribe lives in also contains buried secrets that the people in power don't want humanity to know, and a little bit of digging in various parts of the United States will not only uncover arrowheads and a wealth of other interesting Native American remnants, digging deep enough will unearth some secrets that humanity deserves to know. This is all we'll say on this subject for now, and we'll move on to our next question with appreciation for our readers' hunger for truth regarding Oak Island. Question number 2. Life mission. Thank you for the gift of a channeled response. I would like to ask about my life's mission and the manifestation of otherness and isolation. There is a traumatized personality that I am protecting in my heart. Our reader's purpose is to do everything she can to bring humanity together. Every seeker has felt separate from the rest of humanity at times, and everyone has had to deal with feelings of isolation and loneliness. We note that it can be a very difficult feeling to cope with, and while loneliness as you see it is an illusion and you can enjoy a greater communion with Source when you're by yourself than when you're with others, it's still responsible for a lot of pain in the conscious community and the rest of humanity. For this and plenty of other reasons, it's our reader's job to take it upon herself to address and help mend this issue. She can start this work now if she wants, and she'll find that every bit of work she does to unite others is immensely helpful and valuable. Her work to bring humanity together is very important, and even if she doesn't realize it, it's her mission, and we encourage her to embrace the idea that she can contribute to the unity of mankind. Of course, she can't do it all on her own, and she requires the attention and assistance of the rest of the conscious public who recognize that unity is an inevitable aspect of the future you're entering and creating. Our reader and a host of other seekers will soon be tasked with doing everything they can to help all of humanity see the necessity to come together and cease feeding your old ways of division and hatred, and our reader can do this by first reaching out and connecting with the light workers, starseeds, etc. around her. Social networks have become great places for the conscious public to assemble, and we encourage our reader to get active in these networks and use the connections they provide to unite with others. As for the traumatized personality our reader cares for, we recommend continually opening herself to the influence of spirit and, specifically, her higher self and guides, and request that this personality receive the healing it needs in order to spiritually thrive. This personality will inhibit our reader's ability to bring others together if it isn't healed, and it could use more of the loving attention and nurturance that helps any and every hurt personality refine the light. Any pain carried within will keep one from doing their work, but remaining open to their higher self's influence and the healing they can receive will help transform trauma into pure, unbridled enthusiasm to contribute to humanity's evolution. Our reader isn't alone in her mission to unite humanity. Waves of seekers are awakening to the fact that they're destined to do everything they can to advance humanity's unitive progress, and we say with love that this is one of the main reasons our reader and the rest of the seekers who know this is their mission came to Earth. You all came on specific missions, and while some of your missions are more general than others, many of you have very direct, specific aims for being on the Earth, and in our reader's case, this aim is to help humanity feel closer with each other than ever before. She can do this, but she has to believe in herself and her ability to act as a unitive force for everyone around her who's stuck in the divided mindset that's common in the lower vibrations. Isolation as humanity sees it won't survive in the new world you're entering and creating. Togetherness will outright replace loneliness in your new era, and it starts with our reader and everyone else who recognizes that important changes need made in this avenue. You can rise up and start making the changes that need made, both within and without, and your sense of purpose will strengthen with everything you do to bring humanity together and help everyone become aware of spirit. You have a new society to build, but it can't be built until you recognize the importance of ceasing to fight each other over illusory outer differences that are irrelevant in the big picture. We hope to have provided our reader with the insight she requires to embrace her mission, and we wholeheartedly encourage her and everyone else who resonates with the idea of bringing humanity together to start their work. Allow yourselves to soar. Nothing has to stop you in this potent, transformative time, and you're the only ones who can keep yourselves from acting on your divinely ordained abilities. Allow yourselves to soar, children of Source, and know that everything you're doing is greatly needed and greatly appreciated. Whether you seek to uncover the truth about various advanced societies who left carefully guarded revelations regarding the things they knew, or you seek to bring humanity together and heal the instated division that's held you back for so long, everything you're doing is important. Simply being active, using your awareness for positive and progressive purposes is one of the best things you can do, and this is why we'll encourage you all to keep embracing your role in humanity's evolution, even when it seems too difficult or you don't feel like you can find and remain in the enthusiastic space that helps you do it with ease. You can, but you have to believe you can. Your beliefs will always create your reality, and we don't say this to get you to focus on manifesting material things. We say it to encourage you to see that in every moment, you decide where you're going. You decide the direction you go in, and while you're given plenty of assistance from the higher realms, no soul, not even your higher self, would take this away from you. We'll make our final expressions for this communication with the reminder that free will is an absolute, honored aspect of existence all throughout the universe. We watch you create everything you experience with love in our one heart and acknowledgement of the difficulty of existing in the lower realms, and we'll always want to remind you that your life isn't in anyone's control but yours. Let yourselves feel empowered, and know that everything you learn and experience is necessary for your individual and collective creation of a harmonious future. We'll always be with you, doing everything we can to help you grow and excel to the next state of consciousness, and our connection will be much more direct when your vibration reaches a certain purity. We'll speak with you face to face when you're back in the higher realms, and you might send your own messages to receptive channels on other planets that are ready to ascend. Thank you to my higher self and spiritual guides. Channeled through Wes Anak. cultureofawareness.com